Welcome, welcome, welcome. MGTOW Forever from California. Manoj Roy from Mumbai. Well, Christian Henney, Generation F Up. Gerald Montagna. Hopefully you got the notification. I know you've been having some issues. BJ Fornash in the house. And everybody else is lurking. Not a great word, lurking. That would be a cool name for like a band, The Lurking. Or a movie, The Lurking. Be like a trippy, like voyeuristic wacko sitting in a tree lurking or something. Anyhow, let's talk. Let's discuss today. We got Karuna Mystery School is a creator you would dig. Check it out. Karuna, where are you from? We got Travis in the house from Minnesota, the cold state of Minnesota. Brad, I'm glad you're alive. I thought your previous stream, the establishment killed you. No, my internet went out. Unfortunately, we have a few outages where I live. A lot of damn snow. But let's talk real quick. You know, I was in Phoenix this week for work. I did meet up with the legendary Forever Bachelor, Timmy Kramer. Had some tacos and some chips and salsa with that guy. Solid guy, if you guys know Timmy Kramer. So if I'm ever in your area, we'll have to hang out. Silver Bullets in the house. Good evening to you. Now, what does it mean to graduate from the Red Pill University? You know, we talk a lot about this community, about relationships, divorces, staying clear of single mothers, understanding hypergamy, understanding female nature, and a lot of us are still struggling with that. Because of the programming that's deep. We don't understand why we are led to believe something that's not true. And we still have that little sliver of hope that maybe would there be a relationship out there that'll be solid. Now, for the guys that realize what's post-red pill, what does it mean? What does it mean to be a post-red pill guy? Where do we put our energies? Now that we've digested the red pill, now that we've understood that life was programmed differently. The media programmed us, family programmed us, school, education, government. So what do we do now? Who did I have a discussion with this? I had a discussion with PH over about this in the future. And what do? Where does all of this lead to? This knowledge, this experience, going through it, understanding it, going through the different levels of red pill rage. And we get to that point where we're like, you know, I've learned a ton. And there's a lot of creators that no longer create because guess what? They've either moved on or they've gone back to the plantation. But what if you don't want to go back to the plantation? What does all of this mean? Right? Where do we find the value in all of this knowledge? And I'm going to tell you one thing. All roads lead to peace, quiet, and freedom, but especially minimalism. This is where it all leads. No longer do we have to build a fortress, a gigantic house, a nest egg to take care of people. We can literally work and make a great income and not have to pay for all of, you know, a wife or a girlfriend or kids or what have you. And we can lead a life that leads to minimalism because less is more. Let's be real. Less is more. The Japanese understand that concept quite well. And so when you understand that you no longer have to build a fortress, build a compound, build this gigantic world to attract people. Most people that make millions and millions of dollars, Timmy Kramer and I have this conversation. Most people, and especially content creators that's pushing, you know, making millions and millions of dollars. What are you going to do with all those millions? Now, I'm not saying having millions wouldn't be great. Sure, you could take a private jet. That would be my big desire. Buy a private island. But again, most of the money that's made, you either have an infatuation with stacking money and having that money, it's more psychological by having more in the bank, meaning you'll be okay in the future. Or it means you want to buy things to potentially seek validation externally. You want the Ferrari, you want the Lamborghini, McLaren, so you can drive around and show everyone what kind of badass you are. But in the end, nobody cares. So if money and things aren't on the agenda anymore after you've digested the red pill, because I guarantee I wanted to be a billionaire when I was 24, but not anymore. Peace, quiet, and freedom. Let's see. I feel good knowledge of knowing that boomers and millennial kids are in the same boat on divorce laws and child support. Well, it is definitely in the open. John Boston, legendary, is here. How is your National Women's Day? I think a lot of body shops are going to be having lots of work because they road rashed all of their wheels as they went out with their girlfriends and had wine. International Women's Day. Education is going down the hill, Christian. Timmy Kramer is in the house. Good to see you. Karuna's from the Midwest. I did not know that. Good. Okay, misanthropic altruist. What's the haps? Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. The silent generations and the traditions are aware of the boomer. A lot of laziness out there. You don't need much as a man to be good. There you go. Less is more. Does it mean you stop listening to red pill content? Potentially, if you graduate. Does it mean you quit associating in the space? Maybe. I don't know if you need to. I think you have enough artillery within your mental and emotional state that you can go and have a great life by knowing everything. And I think one of the biggest takeaways, if you graduate, is no longer do women or relationships stir you the wrong way. No longer are you angry and mad. You just accept it. That's as simple as that. Acceptance is the key, is when you graduate. You just accept it. There's nothing you can do to change male nature or female nature. We are the men with the male brains, and they are the females with the female brains. They run differently. We run differently. If you try to change it, you haven't graduated. If you accept it, you've now graduated the Red Pill University. And once you accept it, you can have a great life. Lee Hughes, over 1 year since unwanted divorce, 17-year marriage. Sounds like mine. 2 kids. I had 3. Tough stuff. Roller coaster, ups and downs. Life is kind of ridiculous. Well, Lee, you're in the right place because most of us have been there. A lot of us have been there. A lot of us were lucky that didn't get there. Some were married, some didn't have kids, some were never married or had kids, but we understand what it's like. If you need any additional help or like to chat about your situation at any time, rebelagainstdefeat@gmail.com. I might have some perspective from what I went through. And Rad charges 0 because Rad wants to help. Discernment, introspection, and high adaptability are more valuable than $1 billion. Well said, misanthropic altruist. Well said. So if you think about Aaron Clarey did a podcast about minimalism, and basically the only wealth in this world is time and health, right? If you're spending all of your time making money, eventually you're not going to have enough time to enjoy it. So why don't you enjoy life now by knowing you don't have to go build a fortress? You don't need to have life insurance, maybe, because there's nobody you're going to take care of. Maybe have a policy that takes care of your funeral expenses, but no longer do you have to work really hard because you're working for yourself now. Or maybe you have some kids. I've got kids, but they're almost done. Rad in Japan, the kids are becoming more like Western cultural standard, lazy and pointless. I think it's everywhere, old Christian. I think it's everywhere where that's happening. Andrew Rees. Hey, Rad, just bought a supermoto for my birthday. Let's go do some track time in SoCal. I'm still up for bobsledding. Attaboy. Taking care of numero uno, which would be yourself. What kind of supermoto? Did you get a Ducati? Manasseh, saw a post for National Women's Day. It was a picture of a curb rash car wheel. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Why don't you bring that up, Manasseh? Dax, anyone know what time Women's International Day ends? I'm hungry. I just don't understand why. Mother's Day and Father's Day, that's fine. But come on. I mean, we're just scraping at the bottom of the barrel for more validation. I just saw that Rush Limbaugh's house sold for $155 million. Can you believe that? Don't forget that getting married is like joining the happy life, happy wife, more happy loser. North South is back. Good to see you. Yeah, seriously, Lee, if you have any challenges, just shoot me an email. I speak with a lot of guys, and I have no problem doing that. My best friend is getting married by getting a prenup contract. He is insane. Smart, but insane. Hopefully his prenup, let's just say this. Let's go back to prenups. If you have to get a prenup, do you really trust the woman you're marrying? Oh, but it's an insurance policy in case we go our separate ways. No, you know it's not going to work. So why go through it? A prenup should be like the #1 red flag of any relationship. North-South, Brad, I'm 31 hours into a fast. Perfect. Get up to 36 hours and you are up to 300% in autophagy. If you get to 48 hours, perfect. Love it. Love to hear those stories. It's easy too. And if you quit drinking water, it'll be even easier. Something about water fast make it harder. Europe says still single because they have a kid or a high body count. Work on yourselves, fellow. We have the power. Protect your energy at all costs. Well said, Europe. All 6 of my uncles passed away before they were 55. All their energy went into money for the family. Yeah. And I think if you really accept this, what Timmy's saying, and when you accept where you are in life, whether you came out of a marriage or divorce or infidelity, or you realized up front and center what hypergamy was, if you can accept it, most men won't accept it. This is our downfall. We think we can change it. We think we can fix it, but we don't want to accept it. You know why? Because we still got that programming deep, that little virus that's in our brain that says, I know there's one out there. I know I can make it work. Even with the internet and Apple iPhones and Apple Watches and OnlyFans, I know I'm the one that can make it work. Men don't want to accept. They want to change it. You can't change female nature and you can't change male nature. You have to accept it. You got a KTM. Rock on. I think, isn't KTM, it's Dutch, right? Is it Netherlands? One of those countries. My neighbor had one. Those are dope machines. Good for you. That's a man. Let's take a look. Andrew Rees taking care of himself by putting all of his meat, money, energy, attention, and time into what makes him happy. Love it. 15, 20 grand for a KTM and you're happy. You would have spent that in the first 2 months trying to make a woman happy. Hey, Rad at work catching the live stream. Big Vegas, our brother. Good to see you. It's almost 5 o'clock quitting time. Marriage is a bad deal. The government will always support women. Couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. Graduating the red pill can often lead one to get lost in the black pill wilderness. I would agree with that. Light a campfire, hang out there for a bit, but by all means, get out. Nihilism ain't the way. And even going, those that have gone monk mode for a little bit, that's okay. Those that stay monk mode forever, that's okay. Those that want to dip their toes in the water, that's okay. But once you understand female nature, you're never going to get into another bad contract. That's the whole issue. The whole issue is this. You already made a bad contract once. Do you really want to do it again? It's like NBA, I'm a basketball fan, NBA teams that go out and they get some gigantic, they buy Kevin Durant's contract. Well, he's hurt now. Now, his experience says he's an amazing player. He's been to the finals. He's got a ring or two. But now he's hurt. And he's older. So they could be in another bad contract situation. We don't know. But why would you put yourself in that situation? Getting back on the plantation with a potential horrendous contract. And the contract looks nice, but if you read the fine print, it's not in your favor. Well said, misanthropic altruist. I'm going to read that again. Graduating the red pill can often lead one to get lost in the black pill wilderness, light a campfire, hang out, and get out. Couldn't agree more. I hope so. Rowdy loves but well, good luck to your buddy. He's going to need you when it starts going downhill, and he can accept the fact that he messed up. For women, the definition of a grown-up man is a man that says yes to all her needs and complains. There you go. They give some people more recognition than actual veterans, north south. Yeah. You know, there's a TV show called MILF Manor, and it's these women and their sons the sons are trying to get with other moms and the moms are trying to get with other sons. It's almost as though, what is our world coming to? Continue to keep all these older women, 50s and older, with kids in this like light that they are, amazing to get with, amazing to showcase and highlight. Men need to learn to live alone. Men don't need women. Women need men. Well said, Europe. Well said. I'll email you. My story is pretty typical. Paying alimony and child support, I have more money. She was spending me into oblivion. Now she is spending herself into destruction. Sit back in a camp chair and watch the fire burn. Yeah, shoot me an email. Let's get you. Let's get chatting. Jawara is back. Women on gear and train. And what's the other one? Women in the gym, all buffed out like men. Women want, a lot of women are interested in infiltrating and have been and becoming more like men. It's disgusting. For me, I like feminine women that are that respect the man. How about that? Now, there's a lot of dipshit men out there. There's men that are losers. There's men that are just rotten men. And there's a lot more rotten men than you think out there. So it's kind of a shit show on both ends. In the long run, these days, getting married with a prenup is indeed a bad idea. Horrible idea. Only took one marriage and one long-term relationship to find this channel. Thanks for all the education over 10 months. Well, glad you are here, Travis. We are here to help each other. Don't swim in shark-infested waters. You saved your life one time by getting out. Don't go back to it because the sharks are sleeping. Those are just the same waters infested, and you might never make it out again. Manasseh, Straightville. Her DMs are full of beta male or blue pill orbiters. She lives in the hypergamy matrix 24/7. Well said, Europe. Salt Lake City, Manoj Roy, Utah. Men need to learn to see the big picture. If you see more negative than positive, to live with a woman, stay single for your own protection. You can get homeless or pay child support till you die. I wonder how many men are homeless because of what a court system threw at them. We know a lot of men that have lost their worldly existence because they could not handle it anymore. These channels are for men and potentially women that really want to understand how a woman should be and to move forward. But I'm not bullish on any relationships returning anytime soon. In fact, if not ever, I don't believe we'll ever go back. And all these content creators that say, oh, there's going to be an EMP or a solar flare or a fourth world war. What did Einstein say that World War IV would be fought with sticks and stones? What does that tell you about World War III? 99% of humanity will be wiped out. But think about it. That's all we're trying to do. Accept it. That's all this whole thing is. If you can't accept it, you'll never improve. You have to accept that you cannot fix anything. Season 2 on Lost, she's using hypergamy. Keep watching that, old Christian Henne. You'll see some more. Getting back to nature, I've been working through a few things with my oldest son and taking him out with me. Good for you. Silver bullet. I like watching Rambo and Rocky and Indiana Jones with my boy. Heather is using Charlie. Yes, she is. Now that women make more money than men, they will appeal alimony and blank, and simps will still marry. Well, 64% of all college graduates are females now. What are men doing? They're saying it's not worth it to play the game society has set up. It's worth it to play my own way. Shichi Rawakanda, I hope I said that right. It's been a while, but I met a high-value man, and I respect and honor him because of your advice. Thanks. We are as women must respect men. But it started with respecting God and my father's authority. I remember you. Yes, you had a very solid father figure in your life. Well, I'm glad you found a high value man, and hopefully you can be one of those 1 to 2% that work. Yep. How about Charlie's girlfriend? Okay, Claire. Her name's Claire. I date myself every day, and I'm married to my 2 wives, Jim and Air Fryer. They never get jealous and keep their mouth shut. Marry yourselves. If you want to get married, just marry, go to a solo wedding. Put on a wedding dress and a tuxedo and marry yourself. I don't think you're going to cheat on yourself. I don't think you're going to monkey branch yourself. I think you're going to have a great return on investment. The funny thing is, the best time in history for women to marry with the laws, but many women aren't marrying in their 20s. No. And I have a daughter she's not going to get married anytime soon. She is not getting married anytime soon. I think a lot of women aren't getting married. Very, very few. I think there is such the table has completely shifted where men are feminine or become feminized. Well, effeminate. Well, let's just say feminine. And women have become masculine. It just doesn't work. And so that's when you have this contingent, this army of simps and orbiters that continually raise the platform. You go, girl, you go get your 4th degree. You go, girl, you be CEO. But in the end, we know that a woman that's got 4 degrees and a CEO is not truly 100% happy. In fact, if happy. I know a lot of them. I work with a lot of them. I was in Phoenix this week with tons of them. Divorced. Had a long discussion with a lady that's a vice president of a large healthcare system in North Carolina, married 30 years. She's ranting and raving. She looks horrible. And she's miserable. Every time I saw her, she had a glass of wine in her hand. What does that tell you? And she's an executive vice president. Well said, North South. Women date the alpha and marry the beta 100%. And there's a TV show on Netflix called Sex Life that is 8 or 9 episodes. And it's exactly that story. Well said, Europe. Hello, Rad. I was cycling around a lake, but inhaled a lot of pollen. Hay fever for the last 5 days. Can't wait to get back. I did a lake ride QS on my mountain bike about 8 years ago. And we cycled Bear Lake. It was 53 miles. Did it in 4 hours and 41 minutes. It was a wonderful experience. Good for you. The real reasons why women love bad boys is the bad boys are honest when it comes to the sex. The thing about bad boys and Chads and Tyrones, they don't give a damn what the women think. That's their number one. That's their number one trait. They could care less. What are the simps and orbiters and the 99% of all men? They care what a woman thinks. It's not hard to dissect why women like thugs and Chads because they act masculine. They act protector. A lot of them are idiots and losers. They smoke dope all day, but they play the part. Modern women are not marriage material. They love their Instagram and their OnlyFans more than they would be happy. Yeah, that's what they, you know what? Cosmopolitan magazine, or was it Cosmopolitan or Allure or some woman's magazine, said that women would rather have their social media than a man. It was like 74% of women would rather keep their phone and their social media instead of being married or in a relationship or in a loving relationship. That right there is delusion. And that is from a woman's magazine article. Marry yourself and identify as a head of household with 100 dependents. Enjoy the tax credit. I was head of household this year. A great community here, Rad. Thank you for providing this for men. Well, thank you for being here. We would not have a community without men experiencing life and navigating female nature. It's really that simple. If I can make it through, you can. I was thankful to grow up with a younger sister, her friends, and younger female cousins. They were always annoyed by the men giving them attention and going crazy about the ones that didn't. Matthew, there you go. Good to see you, brother. I remember I went out with I went on a date like 5 years ago with a gal, and she was talking about she'd been divorced 10 years. She was from Arizona, pretty attractive gal. And I said, well, how come you're not married? I mean, you seem like a good gal, just kind of gauging her interest. And she's like, well, all these guys are they're wimps. I go, is there any guy in particular that stands out that you wish you could have dated? She goes, yeah, the guy that didn't give me attention. She still thinks about him 6 years later. In another 5 to 10 years, all the females will be searching for these channels, wondering what the hell is going on. Maybe they'll be ready for logic. We would hope so, Travis, but yeah, I'm not going to bet on that. I think the delusion is just going to get deeper and deeper, like Chernobyl's contamination of the environment. Nothing will grow ever again like it once did. I'll never let a female back in my life. I'd rather go through troubles again. Well, I think allowing a woman into your life from a relationship would probably be not the greatest return on investment. It's extremely difficult, especially as you get older in life, to really want to create something. You're not going to create babies with a 45-year-old. You don't want to be a stepfather. You don't want to take on baggage. So as you get older and they get older, it's pointless, right? Very few even are worth it. However, you can navigate life by understanding female nature. And I think, and you've mentioned a couple comments, Silver Bullet, about that. We just have to accept the life that we have. And this acceptance will lead us to a very minimalistic, fulfilling life if we truly understand it. What is the real marriage or wife material to be real? I think a masculine man, number one, a woman that respects the man, a feminine woman, a woman with strong values, a woman that will do everything because she wants to be the woman in the man's life. But again, it's not like the man just going to be an iron statue making sure that the woman does everything. I mean, there's definitely in Rad's world, what would a marriage be? She'd be the co-pilot. I would be the pilot. I'm a Chad, but the problem is modern women think that I'll always cheat on them and will use me for fun, but not for something serious. Tyrone and Chad also want a nice family. I'd agree with that statement. Eventually, a lot of these guys, there's a PUA artist, what's his name, Roche, who was a PUA and then he got married. I think a lot of guys just realize that it gets old after a while. I want a submissive, nice and fit woman who supports me till I die. My ex-wife was like that for 2 years, but then changed with modern day feminism and social media, and now we are divorced. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a feminine woman that was your co-pilot. I think the problem with relationships is complacency. If you really think about it, familiarity creates complacency. Complacency creates contempt. Again, I'm a big fan of the Jonathan Noble situation. Separate households, separate incomes, separate lives come together. But if you're seeking that, here's the problem. If you're seeking something, it means you lack it. In Buddhism, they call that, I don't know if it's the Dharma or something. But if you lack something, if you don't have it, you lack. So you have this inherent and negative already. So the key is to not seek it. The guys that have the most issues with women are seeking love, they're seeking marriage, they're seeking relationships, companionship, all for the wrong reasons. When you don't seek it, that's when things pop into your world. Men live in the fantasy that the unicorn exists. Every unicorn can change to a devil wife in months. You're absolutely right. I live near Sedona. I'm grateful I have no interest in the dating market. Woohoo hippie brides and cat ladies are the only. With patchouli and let's see, what do they have? Dreads in their hairs and funky. A lot of those gals have like the gauges in their ears and like the nose. They have a lot of them. I think hippies have more of the nose ring on the side and maybe the nose stud. But those hippies have been ran through. Those women, those free love women, yeah, be careful. And it sounds like you have no desire, so you're in a good place. Chads are very smart. They are trying to protect their own properties. Yep. Matt Cross is thinking about settling. Well, take what you want from the information and the experiences and the content out there, and you decide what you want. If you decide that you want to make another run for it, well, understand the risks, the red flags, and the return on investment. I'm going to guarantee you something. I don't think the vision in your head will play out on the external. I don't think you're going to get a solid return on investment. Again, I give a 1% to 2%, but even that is challenging. I would say focus on yourself, navigate life by understanding female nature, and seek peace, quiet, and freedom. 55 this year, 4 kids. I'm good. There you go. Yeah, well, what would be the point at this point in life? Whenever I miss the company of a woman, I'll go to a friend to visit and hang out or help them work in the shop. Stay busy, invest in your close friends. And I think that is key right there, Travis. If you are not doing anything, you're going to be bored, and boredom will lead to I'm lonely, and loneliness will be I need to find a lady. That is the key. Staying foundationally unbored. Learn a guitar, learn to play an instrument, learn a language, travel, hike, bike, work out, improve yourself, learn to have a different relationship to food. But once you get bored, that's when it all comes crashing back again. When people get bored and they don't have anything to stay busy with, they start looking at all the negatives. Oh, I don't have a woman. Something's wrong with me. I need to have a woman. I'm lonely. And those are just, again, blue pill trickery. FJT, our Gig Chat is in the house. What up? Checking in from work. Good to have you again. FJT, paid off house at age 29. Spike's in the house. Good to see you. YYJJ says, in these days, especially if she's younger, if she doesn't respond within 15 minutes in a text without apologizing or telling why, stop texting her. I'm telling you, women have multiple people in their phones. I don't care if the woman is heavy, unattractive, older. The simp army is alive and well, folks. Is alive and well. Simp armies will get behind any woman, and it doesn't matter what the guy looks like. I've seen very strong, athletic, attractive men with very heavy women. That would be like a 1.5 out of the 10. These guys would probably be an 8 out of the 10. But they're lonely. They need the validation of a woman. And this is another part of this whole world. When you realize you don't need the validation of a woman, where do you put the validation on? You. You go out and you buy a Ducati. You go out and you take a trip to Dominican, like FJT. You go and be by yourself and play golf like Timmy Kramer. You make great investments like John Boston. You go to the gym, you start fasting. PUAs have morphed into passport bros, which is fine, but they rarely warn men of many of the risk of trying to court foreign chicks. Well said, brother. I think escorts and strippers are fine as long as you don't have them in the long run. She's not yours. It's just your turn. That's what I don't understand about a lot of these guys. It's like they're virgins at 25, 27, 30. The 40-year-old virgin of the show is probably pretty legit. Why don't they just go to Mustang Ranch and have an experience and feel the touch of a woman? Yeah, they have to pay for it, but you have to pay for it regardless. People don't understand that paying something, you pay in money, attention, energy, and time. The Chads but the Chads don't have to pay for it, is what the black pillars say. Yes, they do. They have to pay for it somehow. It's usually mentally and emotionally. They've got to put up with the BS. Modern women want the marriage and see what they can get out of you. You can lose your house, car, and everything, and her ex-husband is homeless. She'll get married again and live in your house. Well said, Europe. And the simp army is a very huge army, and it's getting bigger and bigger. Simps will get paid in the end, and they get screwed big time. We want to keep everybody out of the bad contracts. You don't want to be in a bad contract again. That's it. Stay out of shark-infested waters. My last ex got a call from a blank in prison while on speakerphone. Jeez. What is the deal with women, Bolo from Canada, that love these bad boys that are sitting on death row? Again, they're Chads and thugs. Someone I know got married and divorced a couple years later. She wanted half his pension. Not sure if she got it, but now she's remarried and he's dating a single mom. Where does it end? Well, I'm going to have to agree with the future. I mean, Greg Adams talked about it. Sandman has talked about it. Hammerhand, that a lot of these young boys today that are probably not even 16 yet, up to 30, the transmaxing world, well, transmaxing is for the black pill, but the seeking transgendered women is probably going to become a norm in the future. If they can't get normal biology women from birth, they're going to settle with someone that looks like a woman. You're going to see that. That's going to be huge. You're going to see TV shows about that. We're in clown world. It's as simple as that. But you're right. If you want to get married, you're gonna get in a bad contract, regardless. Most contracts are bad. Most companies don't renew contracts. Society always projects that lonely BS onto me. I've been single for 6 to 7 years and haven't been lonely once. I'm alone, not lonely. FJT, laying it down in Chinatown. I'm not alone, or I'm alone and not lonely for 300 Trebek. And that's the key. There's such a difference between being alone and lonely. Loneliness is seeking external validation. Loneliness is you not understanding you have all the power within you to be happy. Nobody will make you happy. No woman ever made you happy. You just thought she did. People do not make people happy. People do not validate other people. That is false. People can only validate themselves. Met a chick on Xbox Live. She had kids and a husband, and in the end, hypergamy nature and conversation. Yeah. Hypergamy for 300 Trebek. I have some very pretty female friends, single or not. Either way, they have thousands of friends on social media. My dude friends have 100. What does that tell? Oh, you're absolutely right. I'm glad that you said that. You go to any woman's page, she's got 1,000 friends. You go to the guys, 300. And they're probably legit friends. But women, remember, love to acquire orbiters and attention baggage. It's as simple as that. Women's currency is attention. 98% of all women seek attention and validation and string along men for those reasons. Women love positive and they love negative attention. I truly believe that women love to fight with their men because they know the man will speak to them and give them some sort of attention, albeit negative. An argument is still attention, guys. Really understand that. Why do a lot of women love to bring up the past? Why do they love to nag men? Because they want that man giving them attention. It's still negative attention. Who cares? It's attention. She tried to hook up with me on Xbox Live. I don't even have an Xbox. My kid, I don't even know how to turn the damn thing on. Salute, gents. Happy Friday to Primal Studies. Good to see you, brother. Rad, just wait till the state begins to pay to put donor uterus in men. Oh, I saw that. I saw that a transgendered woman wanted to have a donated uterus implanted. Or what do they call it? What's the word for it? A transplant. Transplanting a uterus? That I don't know how that... the male body would reject it. I don't understand. I don't have a medical degree. I can't talk about that. JLM, howdy to you. Where are you from? Was it the local having a few pints when two 20-year-olds started scrapping over a 40-year-old single mom? Testosterone levels were high. Wow, a 20-year-old seeking... Well, that's that whole show, MILF Manor, that you guys can watch. Go watch it. It's so disgusting, but so crazy. It's so delusion. It's literally the poster child of the clown world now. What's another one? Catfished on MTV. Sad, lonely men who are being catfished by women that are married or non-women or what have you. It's if we can help one person, if you can help one person that's lonely to say, hey, you're not lonely in the sense that you just haven't learned to know yourself yet. I bet you'll save that person. Mysterio from Winnipeg. Jailbird bad boys always get chicks. I don't see that with jailbird chicks with men vying for them. I think there's people that like the jailbird chicks, but I don't think they're male. Redneck Red Pill is back. Good to see you. Well, my ex had 1,700. There you go. They love attention. JLM from Michiganistan. With Gretchen, right? She's the governor. Democratic states and democratic cities are not good in the end. Modern women act like children. They need attention. They live in the fantasy Disney clown world and want a man that doesn't exist. Why should I marry Minnie Mouse? Rad is not anti-marriage. Rad does not recommend marriage in 2023 and forever. Rad does not recommend having children, not because Rad does not like children. It is too risky to have a kid and to be a father. Actually, let's just say that it's extremely risky to be a father today. You're already labeled toxic. The laws are stacked against you. The laws favor the mother. You cannot discipline your kids with structure and routine because that's considered abuse. Again, too risky. Rad, the real reasons why I wanted my relationship with her to work out, it's like what we both said, it is hopeless. Difficult, guys. It's just difficult today's world to have a relationship with anyone, let alone yourself. Why do you think so many men are lonely out there? They don't know how to have a relationship with themselves. The boredom, the lack of hustles and hobbies and things that they want to learn have been trumped by trying to get in relationships, by getting rejected and then trying to get back into the dating pool and meet someone new. And so they give up everything, their money, attention, and energy and time, to try to find another woman who's not like that. And yet they put all their hobbies on the side. They put all of the things that will make them a better person because they want that golden nugget. They want to be the boyfriend or the husband. But that contract is not good. That contract is how can I put it? It's like the packaging is what bamboozles most men, but inside the contents is garbage. I've never seen a single man want kids. Why do single women want children without men? I think they like the attention, Mysterio. I think they love the fact that they have a kid. So people say, oh my gosh, what an amazing mother. You go, girl. You got great kids. Oh my gosh, you're so amazing raising those kids on your own. Plenty of 304 is going to try to lock down a man with money. U.S. fiscal collapse is coming. Guard your wallets, gents. Today, Silicon Valley Bank just imploded. The Silicon Valley Bank just imploded today. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation just took it over. I bet it'll probably be I bet Wells Fargo or Chase gobbles that up. Passport bros are simps. They only lead with their wallet. That's it. They are getting used from poor women and they think they're king. Well, 100%. Men forget that actions have consequences. Post-nut clarity. Even so much as speaking somewhat louder or a stern tone may get the 50 called, these days gotta go. Dick Marks 2098 is live. There you go. Good to have you. In Scotland, they're trying to pass a law where a man can't talk in public about his conquest. Oh, geez. How is that not surprising? Nothing surprises me anymore. My first wife cheated on me with a drug deal and got busted transporting his blanks. I waited 2 years faithfully for her to get out of sending her money. She got out and divorced me. Wow. Sounds like the Pam Anderson who got with the guy just last year. He paid off her $200,000 loan and she divorced him. Once they get the provisions, they move on. Mostly it's the parents that push such mindset on the children. Manage Roy. Well said. None of the women I know have major hobbies, including Lois Lane. Lois Lane was trying to attract Superman. The lie was, you'll be happy making her happy. The truth is, you'll never make her happy. Tomorrow, it's a blank slate again. Well said, Bolo. You can't make anyone happy but yourself. And most men can't even make themselves happy. It is absolutely insanely disgusting what a lot of these women are capable of when it comes to all alienated the children from the father. Going on 3 months, trying to avoid court. She's choosing war. Been there, Travis. Know exactly what you're talking about, man. Women view, well, let me say this. My counterpart viewed the kids as her prizes that she won. And that's how the court sees it. Black Pill Neo, hey, Rad, good to see you. You don't need a woman in your life to make you happy. You need yourself in your life. It's not just we're bored, so we live in loneliness. Truth, money is more important than ever when it comes to divorce laws and child supports and Me Too movements. The only way you got two issues. You can either accept the fact that you're alone, and alone does not mean lonely. You can accept the fact that relationships are difficult. And you can also accept the fact that you have a better life. Get in the contract with yourself. It'll be interesting to watch to develop. There will be consequences. Western male, I think diaspora. But you're right. Brother, the UK is so feminized, it's not funny. Too many ladies in power. I think, again, society has ran for 10,000 years with masculine men in charge. Society has progressed because of masculine men with women that birthed the children that started families. When the family is destroyed, society is destroyed. That is what we are seeing. And it starts with the programming that women can become men and do man things. But it is what it is. Chawara, Pearly can't afford a husband. No. She's got the attention now. She's a big celebrity. What man can compete with that? Was Giselle really unreasonable wanting Brady to quit football? He was going to quit the next year anyways. Good question. That's a great question. Obviously, she's out being a model now and getting back in her career. Mine kind of went that route. She was a mommy, and the mommy switch turned off, and she wanted to be in the career switch turned on. Who knows? I think that I truly believe their relationship was based on false pretenses and sense that, oh my gosh, you're an amazing superstar, Super Bowl winner. You're an amazing model. Let's be a power couple. Who knows? Maybe they did love each other. I doubt it. Usman is back. Good to see you. Modern women want the full control in a relationship or marriage. There's a big reason why I'm single. Money, energy, attention, and time. Where do you want to put it? You either put it in a relationship or you put it on yourself. I would bet that if you put all of that money, energy, attention, and time into your life personally, into what makes you better, what makes you happy, I think that you're going to have a better life instead of the relationship that you could pour that money into. I'm just going to go out here on a limb and say, I think I'd have a solid return on investment. What do you guys think? Small rewards for small achievement does make you happy. Yeah, it's the little things in life, right? You don't eat an elephant in one bite. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. Pearly will be fine. Got a lot of tall, dark, handsome simps with British accents trying to get at her. How come she is in Britain? Isn't she from the U.S.? What is she going to college there or something? If there's not love and work, they always go divorce. 86%. Everything is a lie. My female language partner told me how they make fun of passport bros in their country. She said not all, but a lot of passport bros get rammed through leftover 304. That's another thing. Glad you brought that up. Wifing 304s for 600, Trebek. What makes you think, and I've brought this up multiple times, Latin American women begin intimacy at very early ages, 12, 13. A lot of them have 3 kids by the time they're 20. That's just Latin American culture. You're going down there meeting a 20-year-old woman that you think is a virgin or has a very low body count. You're absolutely disturbed. I have seen 13-year-old mothers with 1-year-olds in Venezuela and Colombia. Not one, but many. 15-year-olds with 2 kids. 20-year-olds with 4 kids. It's just a different world. A 12 and a 13-year-old typically has a boyfriend that's 19 or 20 in Latin America. They're not this virgin fruit that everyone thinks, waiting for an American to show up. You're just another simp in a different time zone. And I wish guys would get it. This whole passport crap is idiotic. If you want to be a passport bro, go and visit the country, eat the food, learn the culture, take the public buses, hike to waterfalls, meet the locals, understand the local attractions, and do that. Don't get with the women. They've already been ran through. They're already waiting for you. You're an idiot for thinking that they're just sitting around waiting for, Jimmy Johnson to show up and to wine them and dine them and love them. They're just waiting for you. They've been from the time they were 7 years old. They're waiting for Jimmy from America to come and rescue them. I have issues with content creators that say go overseas. Really? Across all cultures, men prefer early 20s women. I wonder why that is. Must be a physical. I think it's the fertile nature of women. Goes back to our programming. Our biology wants to spread our seed and our legacy. Pearly played volleyball. Oh, okay, got you. She is a tall woman, I believe. Modern women have a lot of personality disorders. A lot of my male friends and myself see that modern women are always nagging and you can't make them happy. So why would you build a family? Sometimes the fantasy Europe just trumps reality with a lot of men. Good to see Billy the Goat is back. Passport bros are living modern day prosty, just pay and play. You'd save a lot of money by not going overseas, and I guarantee a lot of those women have quite a few itchy scratchies. My ex was 14 and her insane mother would drop her off at a 23-year-old house. I found this out 2 years into the relationship. That is sick. And that's in the United States. What made you come back to the United States? I was done with doing what I was doing. Paul Jensen's back. Good to see Paul. Hope you're doing well. If you're going to go and be, again, let's say you go to Bucaramanga, Colombia. You're staying at a resort. There's no resorts in Bucaramanga, by the way. Maybe there's a nice hotel. There's a couple of German or Italian women that are traveling. Number one, they're 304s. We know that. But if you have the inclination, you might as well get with a fellow traveler if it's so inclined. But even that's not recommended because they ran through too. Stay out of the local watering well. It's already tainted. You're absolutely right. No joke right there, Christian. Sexual tourism will increase, but expect to see taxing, travel, scamming, violence as a result. I'd agree with that statement. Again, the fantasy is so alive in the passport world. I read an article that feminism law will be worldwide, so passport bros and every man who wants to build is F, stay single and stack up your money. Be very careful, my gents. Must clear 20 mil a year to marry Pearly. I wonder if some of these content creators that go on our show or that they're shagging in the background. Agreed. Passport bros, women nature is universal. Go overseas, sure, but for a wife, I'd tread carefully. Spend a lot of time in the Philippines. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, every man is looking for that nook, that special corner where it doesn't affect them. There is no special corner. Remember the Wizard of Oz, and they looked behind the curtain. There was no Wizard of Oz. No. Same sort of philosophy here. It is what it is. There is no special place in this world or special type of woman that has never been tainted by technology or programming. Programming is already there. I would love to debate some of these creators saying, oh my gosh, pretty soon the programming is going to go back. The men are going to lead the world. No, they're not. Laws run the world, and the laws are geared towards whom? Not men. You know, if a crime is committed, the man typically gets 2 times the amount of time behind bars versus the lady. Not even the crime has the same punishment. So you leave here because of female usury and go to a place to find women who want to use you. Doesn't make sense. Billy the Goat, laying it down in Chinatown, 100%. Philippines has got hypergamy too, oh Christian. Too many guys become feminine because women are acting more masculine. Patriots won in the house. Good to see you. Well said. That's a problem. We've allowed toxic masculinity. Men, we've allowed it. How many men are fighting back against it? I think Ecuadorians have wonderful style. It depends on, there's a lot of European influence in Ecuador, Quito, Guayaquil, but still a lot of Native American, I think, what is it, the Guajiros, they're part of that group. I think there's wonderful people in South and Central America, but I think that you have, if you're going there to find, number one, if you're going there to get married, do you even understand the language? Do you understand the culture? Do you understand the mannerisms? Everything to do with that culture, because it's going to be difficult if you marry a Latin, you have no Latin experience. Latin people think differently than American or Canadian or European. So just getting over that, even if you did find a virgin woman that lived in the rainforest in a hut that was waiting for you because she saw on a tablet that was hanging on a tree under her outdoor school, Jimmy Johnson was coming for her. Number one, that's a total myth. But if she did, you'd have to understand culture. Female nature is worldwide the same. An American man married a Thai woman, built a house, got 2 kids with her, and she kicked him out. Now he's homeless. Oh, that happens even here. They bring him back. A woman behind the Wizard of Oz curtain. It's hopeless in the relationship. Hypergamy is real, guys. You're 100%. There won't be a world war that wipes us out. It'll be AI sex bots wired perfectly to match you. Population will just look where Japan's going to be with their birth rate. It definitely benefits the ladies, man, Roy. Definitely. Most men are idiots. They'll settle for bimbos and they cheat. Yeah, absolutely. Men, people say men are the problem. Men have contributed to the problem just as females have. Men have allowed more to be pushed on them than women have. Are we going to change it? Is religion going to change it? Some of the most religious women are the most 304s and the most hypergamous that I know. So no, running to a religion is not going to help it. Finding a woman in a religious convent or a congregation that's apparently been raised forever by an amazing moral and valuable environment, I'm not going to bet on that one. FJT says, yep, I've married women. I've had married women in the Philippines try to branch onto me. The nature is universal. Like tough forever back. You're absolutely right. So again, I guess I keep repeating myself. I feel like a broken record, but don't go back to a bad contract. Understand the contract that you're signing is really not a good contract, regardless. Understand that there's no place in this world, there's no law, there's no event that's going to come and change everything back to what it was 150 years ago. 150 years ago, there were still 304s. The wenches in the salons. The old cowboy saloons had ladies upstairs taking care of the cowboys coming in, and the mountain men coming down for a cup of whiskey and a couple of biscuits. But upstairs, there was ladies giving it out. There's infidelity. I don't think it was rampant as it is today, but there was infidelity, both on both sides. You tell me how you, Mr. Simp, are going to fix it. You ain't fixing anything. The only thing you can fix is yourself. They use religion to justify their hypergamy. Yeah, they definitely hide behind the good book. False alligators from women can make you go to blank. A friend of mine had a date. She screamed in his hotel and said to him to pay $5,000. Oh, that happens a lot. I know a guy, a personal acquaintance of mine, who married a stepmom with 2 kids after he divorced his first wife of 4 kids, because the final child that was born after 15 years of marriage was not the same color he was. He divorced her. Spent 3 years trying to get over it. Married a mother, the teacher of one of his kids, had 2 kids. Guess what happened to him? 6 months into it, he came home from lunch. He's an accountant. 16-year-old daughter pulls up and says, I want you to buy me a Volkswagen convertible Bug. And if you do not buy it, I will call the authorities and said that you inappropriately appeared around me. He called his therapist, a male therapist. Apparently he was working with a therapist trying to get over the first wife who cheated on him and had a baby with another man, probably Tyrone. The therapist said, get the hell out of there. So guess what? 100% you're a Paul Jensen says, seems closer to 3 times the sentence length. I feel for young men that don't know how it was in the 80s. But the wise ones can learn from our experiences. Well said, Paul. Well said. Print media pushing 55-year-old women on us. Yeah. I just saw another Paulina somebody she's 57. I've seen like multiple articles with her over the last 6 months about her in a bikini. Demi Moore in a bikini, 58 years old, 59 years old. All of these older women, Christy Brinkley, 68 years old, they're pushing the relevance of older women. Those who don't subscribe to the liberal Hypermind channel are missing out on all the shenanigans occurring with our leftist politicians. Expect the Proud Boys to be exonerated. Attaboy, Carl. Good to see you, brother. Out of 45 and 50-year-old tell me they are not settling and they know their worth. Good for them. You know what? A woman that knows her worth at 50, now that's a diamond right there. You go get with her. If you're 25, you better get with her because society says she knows her worth. What pisses me off is when a single mom has 3 to 4 kids by 30 and all of a sudden a church-going Christian. She's looking for that Christian simp. And there's a lot of simps in Christian churches. They be some of the cringiest, even in Catholic Ireland. Girls of Christ, I may well burn in hell for that. I had a gal that I liked. I was a junior and she was a senior. She went to the Catholic schoolgirls. She went to St. Mary's. And her roommate, her name was Mary, go figure. Stephanie was her name and Mary was the other one. Haven't heard from them for 35 years, so it's not a big deal. Stephanie, the girl I liked, was kind of a bisexual, and I found out later. Her locker, her best friend who was the locker, we shared a locker. We had lockers back then. I don't know if they have lockers anymore. Was a total lesbian, and they were lovers. It was like the weirdest thing. Even Catholic girls. Crazy. Thoughts on the Proud Boys? Well, I don't have a problem with Proud Boys. They obviously want masculinity back into this world, but they're being labeled multiple things. And again, if you try to fight the establishment, they're going to fight you, right? Single mom or 304 by choice. There you go. Lone Wolf is back. These guys that get married second and third time are crazy. They're not crazy. They're delusional. Christy Brinkley in that Ferrari. Oh, hell yeah, MGTOW forever. The biggest thing missing with modern women today is self-awareness. Well said, Carl. Brad, I saw that with Paulina. Yes, and she was saying how she doesn't look like other 55-year-old women. Yeah, but she's 57. But, I mean, that's what they're pushing, the narrative. The biggest thing missing today with modern women is self-awareness, 100%. I'm going to cut this out in a minute, guys. I see older divorced women run to the church to meet some simps. They want to think that they are born-again virgins. A 45-year-old woman that had 4 kids and a born-again virgin. I don't think the anatomy is going to coordinate with that, the physical and that thinking. Just what I'm thinking. I see older divorced women run to the church. Me too. Some Catholic girls are still virgins. They just take it up the blank. Remember the Red Hot Chili Peppers? If you guys like the early chilies like I do. Catholic schoolgirls rule. Catholic schoolgirls rule. I think that's on their first one. I had that wicked. Okay, you guys are talking about something here. Any more crazy high school stories? I got some. I'll have to tell you at a different time. If a man wants to marry a good woman, he must succeed in job interview with the modern women. How much do you earn? Are you 6 foot tall? Do you have a 6 foot schlong? Do you drive a Lamborghini? Do you have a 6-pack? I only date high value men, and she lives with her mom. And she's got 3 kids in tow by 2 baby daddies. And she's got a Nissan Sentra with a check engine light on. And she's got a boot on her wheel. And she is a high value woman, and she's got goldfish. 2 of them are dead. Can't blame single mothers because it's female nature to have kids, but dating them is not worth it. Well said. You know what? This is why we are here, and we constantly reinforce this, even in my mind and in everybody's mind, which is this: don't get in a bad contract. If a company makes a bad contract, they could potentially bankrupt themselves. That is the same thing we're talking about. Don't get with single mothers. Proud Boy's attorney has proof the FBI was intercepting communications and deleting. Oh, how is that? How is not surprising, Carl? Check out usawatchdog.com, you guys. Thank you, Rad. Have a good day. D-Man is back. Good to see D-Man. Another one of my wrenches. My coworker said that he looks up to me seeing how successful I am at a young age. He said he wants me to date his sister. I told him, no thanks. I'm not looking for a lady friend. He looked confused. Because the relationship with yourself is a million times better. Would you be right, FJT? FJT can get all the female nature he wants. Go to his channel and listen to all the voicemails of the women, all these women that are living in other countries that want the FJT. There you go. Sharon Stone, I've seen her in the news in the past year. Yep. Tom Likas said 25 years ago, marriage is a contract that doesn't benefit men. Well said, brother. Tom Likas, although he's massive libtard now. The Emperor is in the house. Good to see Chris Mitchell in Canada. Where's Chris Mitchell's live streams been lately? I ran into 3 high school girls and only one recognized. One was upset because I didn't remember her well. Well, 100 extra pounds of weight made it tough. Weight Watchers for 300, Trebek. Weight Watchers would make millions off her. It's funny, my mom used to go to Weight Watchers, and she'd come back. I lost a half a pound. This week, I lost a half a pound. Man, I lose a half a pound taking a leak in the morning. Travis says, thanks, brothers. Drive fast, take chances. And we are done, folks. We are done. Remember, when you graduate from this red pill university, it's because you've accepted where you fit in society, and you're not going to make a contract for anyone but yourself. Acceptance is the only way you can graduate. If you get an A in acceptance, you have graduated from the red pill university. Simple as that. So let's see everybody at the graduation here, because I'm going to be the dean of graduation, and I'll graduate everybody that accepts it. Rebel against defeat, chase excellence, masculinity, men first.